Hey guys, the Xfinity Series race at Daytona just ended. The Coca-Cola Firecracker 250, a really long rain delay. I thought it was going to get canceled. I'm so happy it didn't. And the end result is Ross Chastain getting his second career Xfinity Series win in the third entry for Kaulig Racing, the number 16. And Matt Kaulig brought this car here so they could have lots of bump drafting help. Brought three cars here. Ross Chastain was the third car, a brand new team, the 16. And all three Kaulig Racing cars, 1, 2, 3. And that is Kaulig Racing's first win ever. And Ross Chastain gets first, Justin Haley, his teammate, gets second, and AJ Allmendinger, their teammate, gets third. AJ Allmendinger kind of came out of nowhere at the end to get third. He won the second stage. Ross Chastain won the first stage, and Haley gets second. Kaulig Racing's first win. It's amazing. 1, 2, 3, and Chastain wins and smashes his watermelons. Christopher Bell gets fourth. Christopher Bell had a rough day, but he got up there and finished in a top 5. He kind of caused a crash with Michael Annett and caused basically, I think, the biggest crash, the big one here at Daytona. So that was kind of unfortunate. Michael Annett was having a really good run. Obviously, he won the season opener here at Daytona. Austin Cindric gets fifth. Austin Cindric got caught up in a wreck really, really early in the race. Had kind of minor damage, but was nowhere to be seen during the race. But somehow he manages to get up to fifth. Top 5 finish for Austin Cindric kind of came out of nowhere. Thought he was kind of battling for second in the lead in the closing laps out of nowhere. But Austin Cindric gets a solid top 5. That's really good for that team. Stephen Light gets sixth. It just tells you how many just crashes there were in this race. It was pretty much chaos. Stephen Light gets sixth. And Christopher Bell was the only big three to have even a decent day. Bell didn't even have the best day, but he was the best out of Custer and Reddick and him. Stephen Light gets sixth and just stayed clean. He was in the top 10 for a while, actually, and gets sixth. Same with Brandon Brown. Brandon Brown kind of caused the crash there in the end, too, but he gets a top 10. It's really solid. Jeff Green, I believe the 2000 Xfinity Series champion, gets 8th. So, yeah, another really small team, Gray Gaulding, same thing. He's still like 111 points out of the playoffs now that Brandon Jones is on the cut line and Sieg is still on the cut line, but a lot closer with Brandon Jones now. And Gray Gaulding gets 9th. He started in the top 5. He ran up there for a while and manages to get a top 10. Good job. Jeremy Clements 10th, another underdog team. Needs those top 10s, needs that funding and money, and he gets a top 10. So really solid run by Jeremy Clements. Kind of 6 through, basically everyone else that's not really a DNF and small team, just kind of surviving this race with all the attrition and crashes that all the, the really top tier teams kind of got caught in too. And Matt Mills gets 11th once again. Just his teammate Vinnie Miller, BJ McLeod, and 13th Stephen Parsons. Stephen Parsons' first career Xfinity race ever, gets 13th with his BJ McLeod Motorsports teammates Matt Mills, Vinnie Miller, and him. Obviously 11th, 12th, and 13th. They're all in Toyotas. And yeah, Stephen Parsons didn't know he was getting into this car till Wednesday. He was gonna, work on it. But something happened with Cody Ware, who was supposed to be in it, and that didn't happen. And they ultimately put Parsons in the car for his Xfinity Series debut. And those three pretty much just kept their cars clean the whole race. Ray Black Jr. got caught up in a crash pretty early. Spun through the grass and kind of came back up, but still had lots of damage on his car. Gets top 15, not bad. Garrett Smithley, kind of an uneventful day for him. He got in a crash at the beginning, but nothing too terrible on his car, and he gets a top 15, so that's pretty good for that small team, JD Motorsports. 4 Flex Seal cars in this race, all the JD Motorsports. Noah Gragson gets 16th, huge damage. He got a lot of damage from a big crash that happened with Michael Annett at the end of the race, and it took out Ryan Sieg as well. He was running really well. Gregson gets 16th. he was running in the top 5 for a while in that race, and he had a radio problem at the beginning of the race, caused him to go down pit road before they started. But luckily, NASCAR let him get his qualifying position back without making him start from the rear. Tyler Reddick gets 17th. He blew a tire and came up and hit Briscoe, and Briscoe went into the inside wall really hard. And Briscoe got a DNF, and Reddick got stuck in the puddle. And then he was up to the lead, second, top 5. Reddick came from nowhere again after starting on the pole, and he scraped the wall and had to come down pit road really late in the race. And Tyler Reddick gets 17th. Allgaier kind of came down on AJ Allmendinger at the end of the race. Allgaier was up there quite a bit, even with he had a lot of damage as well. And he was up there, and unfortunately kind of came down on Allmendinger, and Dinger's doing the same thing Brad Keselowski's doing. He's not letting off. He even said that. Riley Herbst. Now, Allmendinger really did get into Riley Herbst. That was his fault. Riley Herbst was having a really good run in that 18 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Supra and Monster Energy, and he was doing a really good job. And unfortunately gets 20th or 19th. Chris Cockrum gets 20th. He was second fastest in first practice, but unfortunately he gets 20th. He got stuck in the mud. Timmy Hill got up to 5th in the first stage and continued to be in the top 10, top 5 for the second stage, but got in a big crash at the end. Same with Shane Lee. He got up there for a while and then also got in a crash and spun through the grass. John Hunter Nemechek just completely went through the grass at the beginning, trying to avoid a crash with Sheldon Creed, making his first start with Junior Motorsports. And Nemechek just kind of had a bad day from there with all that damage in the grass and the muddiness from the rain delay. Joe Graff Jr. got stuck in the grass. Pretty bad day for him as well. He got put in the sucker hole at the beginning of the race. Ryan Sieg got second in stage 1. He was having a good playoff day, good points day. He still did, but his finish 25th is not what he showed. He got damaged in a crash pretty late. Same with Michael Annett. I mentioned it before. He got crashed. Kind of Bell's fault. Got shoved into the wall, caused a big one. Lots of people crashing. Cole Custer had some damage at the beginning of the first crash, scraped the wall. Then his hood was coming, flapping up. They had to put tape on it. Then they had to put more tape on it after. It got a little bit more damage, and then he got finished off, and he just got completely destroyed and gets 27th. Chad Fincham really destroyed as well in a crash. In that big final one, Chad Fincham and Josh Williams unfortunately gets crashed as well. Same with Cesar Baccarella, caused the first caution, which involved Ray Black Jr. as well, and they both crashed and got some damage. Brandon Jones got damage in that first crash, along with Austin Cindric, which he finished 5th. But Brandon Jones, not really a good point day, didn't lose much, but he gets 31st. He had damage at the beginning and kind of never rebounded and was lapsed down for the whole race. Scott Lagasse Jr. also gets in a big crash in, I think it was the second to last big crash. Maybe it was the last one. David Starr, he got crashed as well. Was backwards in his pit stall, and he got pretty destroyed. BJ McLeod had damage. Sheldon Creed had a pretty heavy contact at the beginning and kind of finished that off with some more contact later in the race in a crash. Chase Briscoe, like I said, with Reddick cutting down the tire, shoved Briscoe into the inside wall and completely destroyed his car. Not really good for his points, but he's still in. Joe Nemechek gets 37th, kind of uneventful, and Landon Castle, kind of uneventful. They probably got some damage as well, but nothing as big as some of the other drivers, of course. And Reddick, after that whole incident with Briscoe, Reddick got stuck in the puddle in the mud and in the grass, and he had to drive the whole car backwards down pit road and put it into his pit stall backwards, and NASCAR kind of called a penalty for that. And another thing for Christopher Bell finishing 4th, another problem, with his day, had some damage a little bit, and he he had a tire penalty during the race as well on pit road, so unfortunately he got a tire penalty pretty late in the race after he was pretty high up, but he gets fourth. And yeah, Kaulig Racing 123 gets their first win ever. Ross Chastain getting his second career win with Kaulig Racing this time. Ross Chastain, Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger. AJ Allmendinger's first Xfinity race this year, and I believe it's his first Xfinity Daytona race ever. And yeah, 1, 2, 3. Stage 1 winner Ross Chastain, Stage 2 winner AJ Allmendinger. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and you could catch me next time. Bye.